Today is a very big and special day, my fellow Avatar fans. I finally get to talk about a movie that we have all been waiting years to talk about and watch. I am thankful to have now seen it all in its glory and give you my non-spoiler thoughts about it ahead of its full release on July 25th. The embargo for reviews lifted today, and I can't begin to tell you how much fun it was to write out this review. It feels like a weight lifted off my chest for just how long I had to wait, especially someone like me who didn't fully watch it when the leaks happened months ago and the entire film was just released online in the most unfortunate circumstances. But enough about all that surrounding noise, let's actually talk about the film now. And if you can, drop a like on the video, I would really appreciate that. It'll help put the video into the algorithm, and I want to get as many Avatar fans in here as possible to share what I want to talk about with this film. So right off the bat, I think the best way to summarize my overall feelings of this movie comes from where I've been now as a fan over the years. My honest reaction while watching this film was just pure happiness and joy for just the simple fact alone that we are finally back in this world again and with these specific characters for the first time in what feels like forever. Yes, we technically last saw them during The Legend of Korra as older adults and being elderly, but the amount of screen time they did have was very, very little. And so, what Avatar Aang as a movie represents is throwing us back into the world right after the original cartoon ended, making it feel like it has been over 20 years since we were last with these characters. To think that I would now be here in my older years as a young adult around the exact ages of the characters in this movie is something I didn't ever think I would see, and that is ultimately why I had such a great time watching this. The effects of nostalgia and seeing what feels like a part of you come back after so long is a powerful drug that consumed me here when watching, more than I have gotten in most other pieces of entertainment that I've consumed in my life, especially ones that I started watching as a kid. So when I say the phrase Avatar is back, I think that is very fair based on what this movie has given me. So let's talk about Aang and the Gang. Did the weight of seeing these characters on screen for the first time in so long pay off? I can confidently say with full honesty that I was very satisfied. Now, not everything about this movie is perfect, and we will get into that without giving away any major details. But overall, through the 85 minutes of screen time that we got, these characters are all, for the most part, still the same people I remember from the cartoon. Aang feels like Aang in the way that we know him to be. Very optimistic, always looking for the right options when in the worst of circumstances, and he is still playful, even when older, and at an age where you might think that kind of personality would grow out of him. Katara is still the guardian angel of the group, the one that always has her head on her shoulders and can see when something is not right and is always looking out for Aang, especially now that there is an actual romantic relationship to these two characters. You can feel her bond with Aang is very strong, and quite honestly, I wish we got their relationship a little bit more here in the film, but we could only make do with what we had with the runtime. Sokka is exactly the same, to a T. This man's charisma and humor are all still there, and he is definitely the one who's the funniest with his moments in the movie, just like he did in the show. I even like how they utilize him for action sequences, given he's not a bender, and that was really cool to see. I won't give anything away, but you'll understand what I'm saying if you go to see it for the first time. Zuko and Toph share somewhat of a similar role in this movie in the sense that they actually don't get as much to do as the other members in the group do. They are there, don't get me wrong, but I found that much more of the focus was on Aang, Katara, and Sokka. Zuko and Toph are awesome in the action sequences, which was really cool to see, especially Toph, who shows off her metal bending to an even greater extent than I was expecting to see. All these characters are now insanely jacked. By the way, I'm a little embarrassed to even watch them look like that, given I should probably be going to the gym a lot more often and bettering my diet to get that kind of build that they all have, but that's neither here nor there. Overall, I really like how the group was handled. They established pretty quick that they all have their own journeys now, given how different the world is, and that is a level of world building that I appreciate. And speaking of world building, that's the next great thing I thought this movie did. The new character of Tagah, voiced by Bautista, helps to represent that a lot with his introduction. Other than Sokka, Katara, and Aang being the ones on screen more than others, Tagah is the other character who gets the most to work with once they uncover him from his iceberg. The film really goes into detail about who he is and where he came from. They don't give an exact time of it all, but the idea is that he is thousands of years old, going back to a time that's very much unexplored by what Avatar has done and shown in the past. Michael DiMartino and Brian Konietzko had revealed in interviews that the movie would explore a new Avatar, and you really get the experience to see this unfold and help build on new lore of a time that's not so different to what our main characters experienced during the original cartoon. When you see the movie, you'll know what I mean, and for those who have seen it, you definitely get the idea. It establishes quite a lot that will leave fans very curious to learn more if the time period the Tagah is from is ever explored again. When it comes to the present timeline, the world is also still established well. All of our characters have a role to play in how the world is changing since the 100-year war ended. Zuko is off in the Fire Nation getting things in order there, Sokka is in the Southern Water Tribe doing the same, Toph is off establishing her metal bending school, Katara is working inside of Republic City to officially get that location established as we know it to be in the Legend of Korra, and Aang is off trying to find a way to bring back what remains in the world of his former nation. That is very much a big part of the story. Aside from all the stuff that's going on with Tagah, the re-establishment of the air nomads is something that lingers on Aang in his everyday life. That is very much a big part of the story. Aside from all the stuff that's going on with Tagah, the re-establishment of the air nomads is something that lingers on Aang and his everyday life. He's trying to find a way to bring them back, given how much the world needs them, and it also plays into the film's conflict. But of course, I won't spoil that. There's a lot more I want to talk about, but that would mean spoiling, and so far, for now, I will wait until the moment is right in the future once more people get a chance to watch the movie. As far as what doesn't work, the list of issues I have is small, but there are some things I did notice. The 85-minute runtime, of course, does hinder on the pacing, and so a lot of this film does feel rushed. There are a handful of scenes that feel like they needed more time to breathe and give us a moment to sit with these characters. I really wanted this to be longer. I think the movie might have worked better as Avatar: The Last Airbender Season 4 if it was given, say, 10 to 12 episodes of 30 to 45 minutes each. Another thing I noticed is that the movie was maybe a little too heavily reliant on callbacks to the cartoon, moments where essentially it'll stop the movie in its tracks to play up on the nostalgia that we all have for things like the Cabbage Patch Man saying his famous line, or the film wanting to constantly tell you to, hey guys, look, remember this happened? Or hey guys, do you remember that happened? Kind of thing. It's fan service, and there's nothing wrong with that, but it being done organically is better in my eyes. This even plays into the dialogue in general with how it is written. Sometimes a few lines would feel a little bit unnatural in how they are said. I don't know if it was also sometimes how the director, Lauren Montgomery, directed the voice actors to say it, but not everything lands the way that it wants to. I think all the voice actors do a fine job, but it was just something that I picked up on. If you are an Avatar fan, you know the spirit world is a heavy component to how this universe is established, and so there is some stuff that relates to it that is present in the film that, let's just say, there are scenes in the spirit world where one in particular near the end of the film didn't quite work for me, and I felt it was being a little too silly for my liking. I'm sure many of you might disagree, but that's just how I felt. But those are all my current thoughts on the movie, and so now it's time to talk about the future of it and how it affects the IP. As of right now, it's planned to have a presence in 5 days at San Diego Comic-Con, along with a fan screening with anyone who attends their panels with the creators and potentially the cast as well. Along with this, it's planned to release on Paramount Plus on July 25th, along with a limited theatrical release in places like New York City and LA. Paramount came out the other day and revealed they are doing this to get the movie awards attention. In my eyes, this is not fair to the fans at all. It should have a much bigger theatrical release. There are rumblings that it may get an extended release, but I don't know if it's going to be in any other locations, sadly, which makes it unfortunate for many of us, including me, who don't live close enough to a major city. As of right now, the moment is all about how it'll be received by more people as the release rolls out in the next week. I want to be able to speak with more people about it, and hopefully, just maybe, we can make more interesting videos on stuff around it. At the end of the day, it's just really good to see a new piece of Avatar media come out on screen. It's been so long since we had something, and I as a fan, after watching this, feel very happy and satisfied. And with that being said, I'm going to end the video there. That is everything that I felt was important to address for my non-spoiler review and breakdown. I know there are many of you who haven't seen it yet, so for now, keep the comments as spoiler-free as possible. Only hint to things by how you say it if you are someone who has fully watched it like myself. For those of you who haven't seen the movie, based on what I said here, what are you looking forward to the most from it, and why? If you did enjoy the video and you want to see more, be sure to give it a like, and if you are new to this channel, subscribe and turn on that notification bell. Thank you all for stopping by Uncle Iroh's Tea Shop. I hope everyone here has a wonderful rest of the day, and I will see you all soon for the next video.